Good morning, Vineyard. Man, I have no specific weather complaints today, so we can jump right into business. Except for this. I want to put that vermin Puxatawny Phil on notice. As we get close to Groundhog Day, you better be blind to your shadow next week or I will hunt you down and make you dinner. So, with that out of the way, let's jump into our update. This week is our last week to sign up for winter small groups. So if you haven't taken a look at what we're up to this season, hit the link in this email and check them out. Now, these groups are where the work of discipleship happens. This is where the reality of the family of God is really found. So check them out and consider signing up if you haven't done so already. Now, as we round the corner on January, there are a couple of things I want to highlight for the next several weeks, and it all centers around something that we see coming out of our journey through the Beatitudes. The story of God is a story of his redemption of creation, his reconciliation of the created to the creator, and we're all invited into that story together. Now, that word together is an important part. But anyway, we see in the Beatitudes the outcome of this invitation, of this part of the story, of being a part of his story, right? The outcome of responding to this invitation. Now, when our response is to allow God to call us back to him, chaos stills, and we see God by seeing his purpose in an ordered world with creation and in right relationship. We actually see God in seeing his design, and it's just a really cool kind of way of relating to him. Now, for me, though, there's always been a struggle between knowing what I know about God and what God offers, but feeling it in my heart and seeing it in my life. There's a disconnect. I know what I know, but I also, sometimes it's just not my reality. And so my knowledge and my reality are not married up. So it's easy for me to be overcome by the life that I live, by my week, by all the things going on. If I really take time to nail down all the stuff that I focus on, a few common themes start to emerge. So first, the things that I focus on are defined by conflict and worry. I worry about money. I worry about relationships. I worry about what others have done, could do, or would do to me or the people that I care about. I worry about my kids' future. I worry about the future of our country. I worry about all of these things. I also have conflict, right? I have conflict within myself. I have conflict with other individuals. I have conflicts with groups. I have conflicts with organizations. All of this, the conflict and the worry, it represents chaos. That unsettledness that comes even though I know that I know that I know that I don't need to feel this chaos at all. So what do we do? Now, one thing that frustrated me as a young Christian, still frustrates me now, but you get that well-meaning Christian advice to just give it to God. Some of you may have heard, let go and let God. Man, that sounds really good. But if you don't know how to do that, this well-meaning advice for some of us is just another example of how inaccessible God really can seem. So what do we do? Now, you hear me often talk about how our image of God is vital, how we need to understand how we view God and compare it to what we see in Scripture, the God that we've created in our mind and the God that we see in Scripture. Now, when I do this, when I compare the two, what I see is the God that I created doesn't look at all like the God that we find in Scripture. The God I create is hard to relate to. The God that I create is a God that doesn't like me very much. So with that knowledge, I begin to feel alone and I begin to worry. To fix this, though, to repair our image of God, relationship with God has to become real and active, because that's when we see the relationship heal. That's when the image begins to heal. When we get to proximity with God, proximity with Jesus, we feel the healing of our image. We allow God to become who he really is. Our broken image is replaced with an image of mercy and love. And mercy and love, these are the two things that define God's activity. So, we do this in the same way we do this in any relationship, right? We do it with time. So this year for the Lent season, we're going to take a different angle than we have in the past, and probably different than other experiences of the Lenten season. We're going to press into 40 days of joy. 40 days of experiencing the outcome of a life with the God that loves us so much. Now, to prepare for that, we're going to have some opportunities to experience God, to begin to heal this image of God, and to begin to feel this worry and chaos still in our life. One of these ways is going to be on Sunday mornings during ministry time with calls to respond to the things that God is doing in our hearts. And so this just is a willingness to say, that's for me, and I'm going to let God minister to my heart. We're also going to have a couple of special times that are aimed at experiencing the presence of God. On February 18th, we're going to have a worship night. And on March 2nd, we're going to celebrate Ash Wednesday and the beginning of Lent together. So if what I said this morning resonates with you, put these days on your calendar, February 18th for worship night and March 2nd for our Ash Wednesday service, and come and let God heal the image that we have of him, but also still the chaos in our lives. The way, the truth, and the life is revealed to us as we hunger and thirst for relationship with him. So, have a good close to your week. I'm praying for you. Please pray for me, and I'll see you on Sunday.